We're always trying to be more immersed in the games we play, aren't we? Everything has to be more realistic, right? The animations, the things people might say to you, or how they respond to the world around them. But every once in a while, it really is fun to just break the fourth wall, to take a step back and say, that reminds me of that other story and that other universe. And Easter eggs are one of the best ways to do just that. So today, I'm going to be listing my top 5 Easter eggs in Skyrim. Let's get into it. Starting off with number 5, we have an age-old classic. Two lovers in life could not be together, and yet in death, together forever. Now, I do, of course, mean the story of Romeo and Juliet. You can find this to the southeast of the Shrine to Periite, and as you can see, this female has killed herself with a dagger after seeing that her lover is dead. You can even find vials that they look just like poison between them, and that refers to the Romeo character drinking poison after thinking that Juliet is dead, even though she's not. She just has yet to wake up from her spell. Now, the only difference between these two versions is that in Skyrim, it looks like this guy didn't kill himself, but he was completely ravaged by a wild animal. You can see how wide the radius is of his blood, but don't worry, now they are reunited, and together they will bind like the roots of nature. Number 4, we have an age-old problem. 2 buckets, relatively clean and unused, in what looks like a bathroom. Well, that's weird. I see. On the shelf, you can find a potion of True Shot. It seems the bandits here have been having some bowel issues and could really use some extra assistance. You can find this in one of the rooms of Fort Dunstad. It's not a reference to anything specific, just the imperfections of the human body. Now, I did put this at number 4, but it could just as easily have been a number 1 or a number 2. But look, I get it. The river, it's not always a perfect stream. Sometimes there are offshoots that might lead to places you didn't want to go, like your leg or the ceiling. Or your cat. So they had the right idea. A quick swig of this will have you normal in no time. Number 3, we have 3 goats running across a bridge with a dead troll underneath it, and this is a reference to the fairy tale, Three Billy Goats Gruff. You can find this up in the hills to the south of Markarth. Now, the story tells of 3 goats that have to cross a bridge so they can get to a large meadow with plenty of grass to feed on. But underneath the bridge lives a terrible troll who will eat anything that crosses it. So, the first goat, he tries, and he tells the troll, look, save your appetite, really, because the second goat's about to come along, and it's much bigger, a lot more meat. Okay, so the troll lets it pass. Second one comes along, and it says the same thing. Look, I know, but really, the third goat is much bigger, and you should just wait until then. Fine, so the troll lets the second one pass. Finally, the third one comes along, but it's so big that it rams the troll off the side of the bridge into the water where it gets carried off by the strong current. And now, all 3 goats have reached the meadow where they can feed on all the grass they want, happily ever after. In the Skyrim version, though, the goats didn't have time for any of that. They just skipped the water part, and they messed this thing up really bad right there on the rocks. Yeah. Number 2, we have a reference to Star Wars, and I maintain this has got to be the universe with the most Easter eggs in other games, I swear. But for this one, if you go to Bleak Coast Cave, this is to the southeast of Winterhold, you can find an icy alcove inside, and it's got a frost troll guarding a pile of bones. Up above, you can see the remains of a skeleton trapped in the ceiling, and yes, this is of course a reference to Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back, the scene where Luke Skywalker is trapped upside down, and he has to use the Force to pull the lightsaber toward him, cut himself free, just before being eaten alive. Now, spoiler alert, he does manage to escape. However, in our case, it looks like our guy did not. He wasn't a wizard, he didn't know telekinesis, and so the sword right there on the ground would stay exactly where it is. Yeah, I've noticed the Skyrim versions, they're much darker, haven't you? And number 1, we have a reference to the Pied Piper of Hamelin, also known as the Ratcatcher, sometimes known for touching little boys. If you do the quest Dampen Spirits during the Thieves Guild, there's a part where you'll come across a man named Hamlin, and he's surrounded by a bunch of skeevers. This is very similar to the story of the Pied Piper of Hamelin, but it's spelled with an I instead of a Y. Now, legend has it, this man was able to clear the town of Hamelin, and that's actually in Germany, of a horrible rat infestation by playing a magical pipe and then leading them far, far away. However, when he came back, the town refused to pay him for his services, so he used that same pipe to also lure all of the children far, far away. Some versions say he killed them, some versions say some other things happened. But in Skyrim, it looks like we didn't get that far, luckily. We're still at the part where he's in control of all of the rats, and you know what? He likes it. If you read his journal, he plans to build an army so big all of Whiterun and all of Winterhold will be trampled under the claws and tails of these scuttling creatures. And you know what? I'm fine with that. I mean, you can take the children too. They pissed me off. And there you have it, my top 5 Easter eggs in Skyrim. If you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And down below, please tell me, are there any others you would add to this list? Alright, thank you very much for watching. And the potion's kicking in. I'll gotta go. I'll see you later.